There are many new and exciting capabilities in ArcGIS Online. Here is a map showing just under 40,000 lightning ground strikes spanning from 2000 to 2014. Now, with this much data, it's often difficult to see any immediate pattern as the points are stacked on top of each other. But by using ArcGIS Online clustering capabilities, I can easily see through the noise to identify regions or areas where lightning strikes are most common. You'll also notice, as I zoom into Marlborough, that the clustering scales to my extent. And with custom clustering pop-ups, we can see the difference here between clusters and singular events. Now this layer also includes a field for strike date, so by enabling the time animation on my layer, I can see a play-by-play through 14 years of lightning strikes across the country. So clustering is one way to create a more understandable map, but the map viewer has many styling options that help you create beautiful maps every day with smart mapping. So simply put, smart mapping is data-driven web cartography and data exploration, giving you the right tools at the right time so you can make great-looking web maps easily. This here is a map showing the working population in Auckland. Using a combination of colour, transparency and size, ArcGIS Online Smart Mapping allowed me to see the patterns through the noise. And as you'd expect, the CBD is lit up with majority of the working population. But what I'm more interested in here is the non-working population, that is the youth and the elderly. Here I have a map showing the distribution of age groups over 65. Now to show the entire non-working population, I'm going to add in those under 14, but also another attribute so I can bring a size element to my visualization, in this case for the total non-working population. Now because I didn't have that field in my dataset, I can create a custom expression using Arcade to dynamically create these new attributes on the fly. So you can see here, I've simply added an expression to calculate that for me. As you can see, Smart Mapping has done the hard work for me and applied the style option that makes sense for my data. In this case, relationship mapping, a drawing style that's brand new to ArcGIS Online. More commonly known as bivariate choropleth mapping, the style evaluates two attributes, helping you explore where they may or may not relate. In this case, our youth and our elderly populations. Now the first thing that I'm going to do is normalize my data. And this is because we're working with population. Next, I have options to change the color ramp to better show my data. Here we're comparing the number of youth to the number of elderly. The dark points are the areas where they both reside, and the lighter are areas where neither or few reside. In this case, I'm actually more interested in the areas where there are many elderly and few youth, as this helps me identify areas that could be vulnerable to social isolation, which is a growing health issue in New Zealand. But my legend doesn't really help me understand that at the moment, so I can quickly change that. And finally, by changing the size slider, I can better identify these areas on the map, so these could then be used for focus outreach programs or other initiatives like co-housing, where older adults and younger adults share homes to create positive social connections. Hosted feature layers and layer views are an extremely powerful component of ArcGIS Online, allowing you to create detailed windows into your data. In this case, our roading team is hosting the complete Wellington City road network as a feature layer in our organisation. Now this is the source of truth for general asset management and maintenance applicable across all business units. In this case, our event planning team requires a roads layer for identifying traffic impact during their specific event, the Super Duper Street Festival. Now, we clearly don't want to provide them with this master layer to edit and add in their upcoming road closures. However, we can generate a layer for their needs by creating a hosted feature layer view of this dataset that is editable, ensuring that our source of truth is preserved. Hosted feature layer views allow us to define the features, the fields, and an area of interest that our traffic team are able to edit. In this case, I'll create a view definition for two fields, name and status, and as the festival is only running along the length of this main street, I can also set an area of interest just for the event site. This view has then been shared with our events planning ArcGIS Online group that you can see here. Our City Council Events Management Group has internal and external members, and the purpose of this group is to allow discussion and consultation during event planning. In this case, the best method for managing traffic in and around Super Duper is to use a map or a focused editing application. During a traffic management plan meeting between the roading team, contractors, communications team and event managers, an editing web app helps to facilitate the conversation around event-specific traffic impacts. So for the GIS user, this allows the view to be edited with closure status, and the group can discuss the times each segment will be closed. However, before this information is released publicly ahead of the events team is required to get intermediate approval for the appropriate timing to publish the information of the affected roads. And as it always is in event management, the road closures approval is just one part of a larger communications push around the event. The communications team have set a date for the public release, which alongside other information will include maps. So our GIS team can simply create another new feature layer view, this time only for the affected roads that will be shared with the public in our event map, which you can see here in our final product, our super duper story map. So this shows us where the closed roads are, along with stage information to give a cool and informative information product for festival goers. So from creating more visually informative maps with clustering, finding patterns through the noise with smart mapping, to managing large-scale city events through hosted feature layers and collaborative groups, ArcGIS Online is continuing to enhance and improve the way you work every day.